It was a warm Saturday afternoon at the elite Pine Valley Shooting Club, a place where polished boots met manicured grass, and the sound of gunfire echoed like a symphony of wealth and pride. The club, nestled deep in the hills of Colorado, was an exclusive haven for retired generals, wealthy businessmen, and trophy-hunting aristocrats who considered shooting more a lifestyle than a sport. The air was thick with cigar smoke, laughter, and the clinking of whiskey glasses. Members wore designer gear, custom-made shooting jackets, and gold-plated ear protection as if the range were their personal runway. And on that day, the self-proclaimed king of the club, Vincent Radcliffe, a tall, arrogant oil tycoon with a Rolex heavier than his hunting rifle, was holding court. He was flanked by his entourage. Snide Wall Street brokers, smug retired military officers, and fashionably bored socialites. They joked, jeered, and told stories of African safaris and European pheasant hunts, scoffing at anyone who didn't match their pedigree. That's when she walked in, wearing faded jeans, dusty boots, and a plain flannel shirt. Eleanor Brooks was as unassuming as a fence post. In her early 50s, with streaks of gray tucked into her ponytail and a slight limp from an old injury, she looked more like a ranch hand than a shooter. She carried no gear, no entourage, and no brand logos. Just a worn leather duffel with her initials stitched in red thread. Heads turned, not in admiration, but in amused confusion. Whispers filled the air. Did someone's cleaning lady get lost? Is she delivering lunch? Maybe she's here to sweep the shells? The laughter was cruel, and Vincent, ever the provocateur, made no effort to hide his disdain. "Ma'am," he called out, emphasizing the word with syrupy sarcasm. "This is a private range, members only. I believe the rodeo's down the road." Eleanor simply looked at him, her eyes calm, steady, and almost amused. "I know where I am," she replied. "And I'm here to shoot." The laughter got louder. Vincent smirked and gestured to a long table filled with shining rifles and polished scopes. "Do you even know how to load one of these?" He chuckled. "We're not shooting soda cans out here, sweetheart." Eleanor unzipped her duffel and pulled out an old bolt-action Winchester rifle. The metal was scratched, the wood darkened with age, and a small dent near the barrel spoke of long-forgotten battles. Vincent raised an eyebrow. "Where'd you dig that up?" "A Civil War museum." More laughter. But Eleanor didn't flinch. She walked to lane 9, the only one open, and set up. The snobs gathered behind her, phones out, ready to film what they were sure would be a disaster. The target was set at 500 yards, a metal plate barely the size of a dinner dish. Few hit it cleanly. Most required 2 or 3 shots to even graze it. Vincent had hit it once, 3 weeks prior, and hadn't stopped boasting since. Eleanor adjusted the rifle, took a breath, and closed her eyes for a moment. Time seemed to freeze. The wind whispered through the range. The onlookers snickered louder. Then, without hesitation, she opened her eyes, exhaled slowly, and pulled the trigger. Crack. The shot echoed like thunder. The observers leaned forward, eyes squinting toward the target. Then came a sound they weren't used to: silence. The metallic ring of a perfect hit danced across the range. Dead center. Perfect bullseye. One shot. The metal plate quivered, and then it split, clean down the middle. The crowd gasped. No one had ever split the target before. Not even the club's champion. Phones fell to sides. Cigars dropped. Vincent's smug smile evaporated. For a moment, it was as if the earth itself stood still. Eleanor calmly stood, dusted off her jeans, and slung her rifle back into the duffel. "Was that good enough?" she asked, her voice quiet, steady, and cutting like a blade through velvet. Vincent opened his mouth to reply but found no words. The crowd parted for her like the Red Sea. Some looked away in shame. Others stared in awe. One man, the club's old armorer, followed her out and caught up just before the gate. "Ma'am," he said, removing his hat. "Forgive me, but who are you?" Eleanor smiled for the first time. "Just someone who used to compete, back when trophies meant something. I stopped when my son was deployed. He never came back, so I don't shoot much these days. The man blinked. He was a soldier? Eleanor nodded. Best marksman in his unit. He taught me everything I know. Then she paused. And every shot I take now, I take for him. Word spread like wildfire through the shooting community. The video of her bullseye went viral. Headlines read, "Mysterious woman splits plate with one shot, humiliates snobs." Eleanor never returned to the Pine Valley Club, though they begged her with letters and plaques and honorary memberships. She went back to her quiet home in the mountains, where the only sound was wind through the pines and the occasional bark of a coyote. But on the range, everything changed. The mockery stopped. The arrogance faded. New shooters spoke her name like a legend. And behind Lane 9, a small plaque now hangs. In honor of Eleanor Brooks, one shot, one story, one legend. Because sometimes it only takes one moment, one person, one shot to change everything.